guys, so today I'm going to be doing a series review on the Selection series. This includes all 6 books included in the Selection series, all by Kiera. So the Selection series, if you do not know, follows as The Selection, The Elite, The One, Happily Ever After, which consists of short stories and epilogues following these 3 books, The Heir, and The Crown. Now I purchased these 3 books with my own money, and these 3 books I was sent in exchange for a honest review from HarperCollins, so thank you very much HarperCollins. Now you might only be thinking, Becca, I thought there were only 3 books in the Selection series. And there were. But after these original 3 books, we got Happily Ever After, which consisted of short stories before the selection took place, short stories from Maxon's point of view, short stories in between these books, and even something of where they are now, where the contestants of the selection are now. After this one, we have The Heir and The Crown, which follows the event of the selection about 20 years later. So first off, I'm going to give my non-spoilery thoughts on the Selection series as a whole, and then I will get into spoilers and do like a little book talk for each book. But I will warn you when that happens so you can click away if you haven't read the series. But first, let's get into my non-spoiler thoughts on the series as a whole. So what is the Selection, you may be asking, in case you haven't heard of it? It basically follows a girl named America. Now America, along with a group of girls, is selected to take part in the selection, which is an event which is held by the royal family, and the prince in the family gets to decide who in the selection contestants, will be his future bride. So basically all these girls are competing for Prince Maxon's heart. Now America didn't originally want to be in the selection, but things happen and she got put in there, and now she has to decide if she actually wants to be in there at all, and if she wants to fight for Prince Maxon's heart, along with other things. It's slightly between, if you've ever seen the show The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, and The Hunger Games, because it has like a slight dystopian feel too. This series, I didn't think I would enjoy it all, honestly. I didn't think I would like it at all. It seems like nothing I would ever like. I hate things like The Bachelor, but this series as a whole was just really fun. Each book is really fast paced and easy to get through, and honestly, I think this series is a guilty pleasure read of mine. I don't take these books seriously, I take them for what they are, which I just think is really fun reads. And if you're gonna take them like that, and if you can be in the right mood set to read something like that, then I highly recommend this series. The characters in this series can be very annoying. A lot of people have issues with America, a lot of people have issues with the main character in these 2 books, but if you can push past those issues, I really think you're in for a fun time. These books have slight character development. The first 3 don't really explore the world of the selection as a whole, but these 2 I found really did. So if you're more interested into the politics about the world, I would really recommend going ahead and picking up these 2. These 2 mainly explored things that we didn't really get to see in the first 3 books. If you just want a fun, light-hearted read where you can just read and not really think and just enjoy your time reading, I would really recommend these books for you. If you have something like a readathon upcoming too, where you just want some really fast-paced books, then these books might be the perfect solution for you. So they're basically my non-spoilery thoughts on the Selection series, and now I'm going to get into spoilers. So click away now if you have not read the Selection series. Alright, so let's talk about the first 3 books. America was a character. If you have not seen on Epic's Reads channel, I believe it is called The Selection with Dolls, and they do each book with dolls, so the Elite with dolls. It's basically a summary of what happened in each book, but they're really hilarious, but they also make fun of the characters too. I really like their portrayal of America. A lot of the time it's just America being like, my heart is broken, my heart is confused, which is basically America in this book. America is really indecisive and at points really stupid. She doesn't think, she's really rash, and at points she's really annoying to read. She's a really frustrating main character, and at all points that normally points to a character that I just can't relate to or connect to or won't enjoy the story. However, because the element and tone of just the fun, general lightheartedness of the series, I was able to push past America's bad habits and still enjoy the series as a whole. I even enjoyed America at the end. It was pretty obvious from the start that Maxon was the choice. It was annoying that this series had a love triangle in it, but I guess it's to be expected if we are going to be having a plot that's going to be along these lines. Once America decided though that she wanted to fight for Maxon and that Maxon was hers, I felt like the series really made a turning point, and that's when they got better. I guess I forgot to say by the way before, but my whole series review of the series as a general is a 4 out of 5 stars. I think I rated each book a 4 out of 5 stars, except for this one, which I rated a 3 out of 5 stars. I really enjoy the different characters in these books. Celeste was your typical bad girl, but has a touching backstory, and you get to know and you get to like her, and then what happens? She dies. Oh my gosh, like I was just liking her and then you kill her off. you have to redeem a character before you kill them. It's that annoying trope, and I don't really like that trope. And also, can we talk about Maxon in the very end of this book? Oh my gosh, he was just frustrating and became a character that was completely different to what his character was. The way he acted, the way he was angry, the way he was like going to ruin both America and Maxon's life for a misunderstanding, I just think he acted completely out of character. If he had seen that, of course he had a right to be angry and confused, but I really think the Maxon that we had got to know for these first 3 books would have sat down and talked about it and actually understood the situation instead of jumping to conclusions and acting the way he did. I really liked Maxon up until this point, but when this happened, I kind of had to reevaluate his character as a whole, and from then onwards, I kind of didn't like Maxon as much because of that rash decision that he really did at the end there. Of course, it was all fixed, but it wasn't until they were under attack that it was resolved. One thing that was really missing for me in these first 3 books was how the royal family was dealing with these rebels attacking them and the issues that were facing there, but we never really got to see the world or what had become of it or why these things were happening. We got little glimpses and pieces of it, but we never really got the full story. Then we have Happily Ever After. And I read this book a 3 out of 5 stars, which is my lowest out of all the series, because obviously when you read short stories, you're never going to find things that you like as much, and short stories can be a little bit of a hit and miss for me, and these were kind of the same in this regard for me. I did enjoy the Queen short story to a degree, but honestly, I know that Kiera says that she is not defending emotional and physical abuse, but honestly the King is just such a distasteful character that I couldn't enjoy the Queen. The Queen just seems like a really strong character, so it really frustrated me to see that the Queen was willing to put up with this behaviour or turn a blind eye to it, even when the behaviour was directed to her. And for that reason, I really didn't like the Queen short story in that regard. I did enjoy Maxon's short story point of view, even though it was what we saw it from Maxon's point of view. I felt like that was really interesting to see. And I enjoyed Aspen's and Marley's short stories too. The selection Where Are They Now, where we saw other girls that had been in the selection, I felt was just a really cheap segment of the book. It was all like, these characters are happily married now and in their dream jobs, and it just felt really cheap and I just didn't really like it. So that's why I rated this one a 3 out of 5 stars. Then we have The Heir and the Crown, the books that were never meant to be, but they were. And even though a lot of people have issues that these were books, I understand why people don't like this series. I get it. I understand that people think that this series from these 3 books onwards were cash cows because the selection series just sold so well. And I'm not going to talk about my thoughts on that today. That's not what I'm here for. But I did enjoy what these bring to the story. Edelyn was in some ways more of a tolerable character than America was, and in other ways she wasn't. She was so stubborn of not wanting to fall in love and such a bitch at times. You could understand why. She hadn't really had much social interaction outside of the castle, so she just expected everyone to love her and to praise her. But the way she could treat people and act just really annoyed me about Edelyn's character. But in some ways she was smart and caring too, and I think we saw some real character development from her. Edelyn, I believe, showed the most character development out of all the characters in the selection series. Reading The Heir, I actually didn't know who I wanted Edelyn to choose. I knew that I wanted Edelyn to choose somebody, I actually just didn't know who. Normally it's pretty obvious from the start who you're rooting for, but I actually had a couple of choices. Henry was really cute, however, as much as I liked Henry, I just didn't see it working, as Henry couldn't speak English, and that was just such a big barrier that I couldn't see them ever working as much as I loved Henry as a character. Fox was cute. Kyle was a childhood sweetheart that I was rooting for. There were so many characters that I can talk about, but I really liked every one of them. But at the end of the book, I had one that I was rooting for more than others, and of course that was Eric, who ended actually being the choice, so not till the very end of the book. So thanks for that, Kiera Cass. I'm happy that Edelyn chose to go down that route though. Another thing I wanted to talk about was Edelyn. So Edelyn's put in the selection series by her parents, who promised there's never going to be another selection again, and then say, well hang on, everybody hates us, maybe for people not to hate us, we'll host another selection. It's just like Katniss being like, it will never be another Hunger Games. Oh no, the people are angry, let's host another Hunger Games. I could totally understand why Edelyn was frustrated and annoyed at her parents, and just because it worked out for them. I mean, it's basically forcing people to get married and forced marriages, and I just don't really agree with that concept. But Edelyn in the end decides what to do, that she's going to try and make the right decision for her country and do the selection, and she wants people to like her. So what does she do on the first day of the selection? After she meets everybody, she gets these 35 guys in a room and is basically gets rid of 10 of them in one go. She basically points to the guys and go, you, I hate you, you had a bad attitude, you, I can't even deal with, I can't even look at you. And she gets rid of 10 guys just like that. It's really harsh and mean, and I think it had the opposite impact that she was intending for. I don't even know what she was thinking, but she frustrated so much when she made decisions like that. It really showed off her bitchiness and everything. Though I don't think that Edelyn in this book would have done what she did there. What I really enjoyed about these two books, as I said before, was the world building, so we get to see more of why the people are angry and what they do. And in the end, Edelyn makes a tough choice all on her own for it to become a constitutional monarchy. I really think she made the right decision in this, and I'm proud of Edelyn for choosing that. So I was really happy at where the selection series ended. Also, side note, I felt like America's heart attack at the end of this book cliffhanger was just really pointless. It was to keep people reading to see what happened to America wherever she would live or die. Obviously she was going to live, people. I just really didn't like that. I thought it was really cheap that Kiera Cass put that in there, and I didn't really like that part at all. But apart from that, I really liked these two books, and I felt like they were strong contenders in the selection series. So those were my thoughts on the selection series as a whole and individually. I really like this selection series. It's a really fun, light-hearted read, and something that I can just read so quickly. Each book that I read took me no longer than 2 days to read. They're really easy. I'm sad this series is over, but I'm glad that there's no more books in the series, because honestly, I don't think we could go on without it just becoming too ridiculous and obviously becoming for the money. So I'm glad it's stopping here. They all look really pretty on the shelf together too, as you can see. And just the covers, by the way. Can we take a moment to appreciate these covers? They're all so gorgeous, and just thumbs up to whoever created these covers. The selection series for me as a whole is a solid 4 out of 5 stars. Like this video if you liked it. Let me know in the comments below if you've read the selection series and what you thought of it, and subscribe if you'd like to see more book related videos from me, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye!